let's go. 1.5 cups of water, warmish, not too hot. You don't want to burn the yeast. And you need 1.5 cups. I think I said that already. Add some yeast to that, dry active, 4.5 teaspoons of dry active. Mix it up. Use a whisk. Fork would work. Let it sit. Let it sit for about 5 minutes. While that's happening, grab your flour and put in a bowl about 5 cups of flour. And this is what I use. It works fine. I use bread flour, but other flours probably work well. I like bread flour just because of the texture that it creates. Some salt, 1/2 teaspoon. I was too lazy to find the 1/2 teaspoon thing, so I just used a teaspoon and cut in half. Then you just mix the salt in with the flour. The reason you have to do this is to make sure, because the salt actually burns the yeast or kills the yeast or something. I saw a video once, I lived by it, so I just follow it. Separate bowl. Create your, get the eggs. You get 1 egg and a yolk. These are fresh eggs from my chickens, so I'm proud of my girls. Check out the other videos. Boop. All right. I take the yeast mixture, dump it in a bowl, throw in the egg yolks and egg. And you need to get some honey. In total, you're going to need a cup, but for this part, you only need 1/2 cup. Throw that in the yeast mixture. And then you're going to get some oil. Don't use olive oil, it has too much flavor. Canola oil, I use avocado, 1/4 cup. Mix all that up, and then you dump it in your flour slowly. You have to turn the mixer on slow. If you turn it on fast, you're just going to get a face full of flour. Not fun. Just keep working it. This part requires patience. So here the point is to get all the flour moist. I hate that word. Get all the flour wet. So I just let it do its thing. Slowly, it eventually catches all the flour. When it doesn't, I'll stop it, and then I'll get a spatula and I'll pop the rest of the flour in just to give it a shot. Turn it back on. And it's going to take a couple minutes to get the flour all wet, and then you can turn it on high. Hope you're enjoying the music. So the dough that it's making is extremely thick. It's going to strain your mixer, and if you don't have a good mixer, it may even blow out the motor or burn out the motor. So now the dough is wet. I set the timer for 10 minutes, and I turn it up. just trust the process. It works every time if you follow the process. It stops working when you stop following the process. Just trust the science. You're going to notice that your mixer is going to dance around the counter. So every now and then you're going to have to either hold it, push it back into place, but always keep an eye on it because it'll just pop off your counter. You can probably hear the motor having a rough time. But again, it's thick. Don't add more water. Don't add anything. Just let it go. If it gets too thick, just let it rest. This is all sped up. This is not the speed of my mixer. So if it seems like it's struggling too much, just let the dough just rest for a few minutes. It's not going to ruin anything. Just let it rest. Come back to it, and it'll be a little bit looser. Then do it again. Keep doing that. Eventually, it'll work. And just a quick note, I am not a baker. I'm a director of IT at Constant Contact, and I do this for fun. I'm not trained in any way, but I know what works. This works. I haven't bought bagels in 2 years, so this is me testing the dough right now. So it's 10 minutes. And you stretch it, and you're just checking to see if the gluten is formed enough to make light shine through. So you should be able to stretch it, and it's called the window pane. You should be able to stretch it so you can see through it, basically. If you can't, continue mixing it for a couple minutes, but let it rest. So if you can, just like I did, just put the piece you used back in the bowl, let it rest for a couple minutes, then turn it back on for a couple minutes. While you're doing that, get your bowl ready. I want to make sure you oil your bowl. I didn't show that here, but a drop of oil in the bowl will help you take it out of the bowl when you're all done. Yeah, I should have added this down a little bit more. There's too much me futzing around with dough. Next time. This one was really sticky. It's not usually this sticky, but you know what? Sometimes it's weird. You just go with it. Again, just trust it. The end product is going to work. All right. All right, take it, I fold it over itself, make a nice little ball with nice surface tension. Just keep doing that, tucking it under, Just put it down and then cover it with film wrap. Side note, don't try doing a double batch. You will kill your KitchenAid or mixer. It's too much. Unless you got an industrial thing, in which case do whatever you want. And I don't understand why you're watching this video if you have an industrial mixer. Let's put it in the fridge, 24 hours. While you're there, grab yourself a beverage. Hours later. There it is. It's poofy. It's about double in size. Then you have to proof it. Proof for about 2 hours. I have a proofing setting in my oven. That's what I use. If you don't, you can. There's plenty of videos that talk about how to proof in your oven, but you have to put it in your oven with a sheet of water. Boil water, put it in that sheet, and put it under your bowl, and it'll do the same thing. All right, when all that's done, just pop it out of the bowl. I do one last knead, stretch it out, fold it, roll it, give it a little bit of tension. I just like doing that because it feels nice. There's no real use to it at this point. Just gotta cut it up into little pieces anyways. And a slap for good luck. Take a bit of flour, put it on the side on the counter. You're gonna need that later on. Get a plate on your scale. You're going to need to measure, weigh your dough balls. You're looking for 120 grams. 124. Then you start doing a little dance. Pop it off. 115. 120, 121. All right, you're all good. So 119, 121, all that's fine. But you're looking for 120. Make it into a little ball. Put it on the side. And you keep doing that until you've used up all the dough. This is not sped up. This is actually how fast I work. You'll notice when I make little balls, I flatten it down with the palm of my hand, and then I fold one side over, I fold the other side, and then I fold the top down and the bottom up, flip it over, give it a little roll, pop it off to the side. Now comes the fun part. There's many ways to make the circle, bagel circle. I used to roll it out into a line that's about 8 to 10 inches and then fold it over to make a circle. Then I found this method, which is you pop your thumb through the middle and you start stretching it. And it's way easier, makes nicer circles, and the end result, flavor-wise, it's identical. It's just cleaner, just makes a cleaner circle, that's all. So you can try it the other way, you just get frustrated eventually. But I've now decided I'm only doing this way. Pop your thumbs in the middle, stretch, 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 And again, this is not sped up. This is my usual speed. This batch gave me 12 and a half bagels, basically 13. Well, the last bagel was about 90 grams. So a little smaller, but ultimately when it all bakes down, it's perfectly sized. So don't feel you're tied into 120 grams, but try not to go over it. They really become too big. You end up having buns with no hole in the middle. So you can go 100 to 120. I just do 120. Again, that gives me 12, 13. I don't know if you noticed, I forgot one. Oh, damn. All right. I'm a fan of the everything bagels, so I just use the everything seasoning. And that's it. There's no measuring, you just pop it in a bowl. And if you need more, you add more. But whatever you don't use, you throw away, so don't put everything. All right, by the way, I put a cover on top of the water to help it boil faster, not for any other reason. Add a half cup of honey to the boiling water. That's one of the things that makes it a Montreal bagel instead of a New York bagel. Make sure the honey is mixed in properly. That's a linen cloth. Try to use linen for this part, or else the little fibers and cotton will stick to your bagel. All right. Get yourself. I do 3 bagels at a time, so get yourself 3 bagels. I'm gonna pop them in the water. And you're just going to boil them for 10 to 15 seconds. I know it doesn't look like it's boiling, but the water's hot enough. I don't know why I did that with my fingers. I look stupid. Gonna flip them. And then you're going to let them cook for another minute. While that's going on, drink your coffee, have yourself a bourbon, start prepping your other bagels. It overflowed a little bit, that's alright. Just make sure everything's cooking. Remember how tough the dough was when we first started mixing it? Now it's all nice and soft. Okay, so after a minute, take them out, flip them, put them on the cloth, and see it's all wet dough. If you have a regular cotton cloth, you'll just have fiber all over your bagel. Sorry. I don't know what I was thinking about donuts. All right. And just keep doing that until you've done all your bagels. Again with the fingers, I don't understand. ones that have been sitting, put them in the seasoning, and start laying them out on the sheet. Because I have 13 bagels to do, I put 5 on the large sheets and 3 on a smaller sheet. Normally, if it was 12, it would just be 6 and 6. Your oven has to be preheated to 475. Once it's preheated, you just start loading it. And I realized that I should have just waited and done one batch and then the next batch, but tried doing it all at the same time. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Here's the first batch. So 3 bagels. You let them rest. When you take them out of the oven, a couple minutes. After a couple minutes, take them, put them on the tray. These are slightly underdone, but again, not a big deal. We slice them up, freeze them, and throw them in the toaster so they get toasted eventually anyways. But it's up to you. Cook them for 15 minutes. You can cook them for 18. All depends on your taste. But 15 usually works. After a couple minutes, just let them cool off. That's it. Let them rest for about 30 minutes and you have a fresh bagel.